Hello random people, welcome to Random Garage, the channel where we're always doing something. So here we go, the 2020 Road King M8 engine, of course. Stage 4, 128. Not like that really matters, but got an issue of fluid transfer from the transmission to the primary. So on a 2020 model, the transmission and the primary both are vented. Right down here, there's the vent line on the transmission cover, and back corner of the primary, get around the other side here, get a little light on the subject. This is the vent line for the primary. So they're both vented, they're both theoretically always at atmospheric pressure, and yet still getting transfer of transmission fluid into the primary. So now I suspect that this transfer is not happening because of a pressure differential, but rather just fluid migration, because the fluid is able from the transmission to dribble down the tranny main shaft over into the primary. Oh shit, got a little seepage there on the tranny cover. Is that plastic or is that aluminum? I think that's aluminum on the 2020. I think 21 is a plastic one, but I'm gonna have to take care of that, I guess. Anyhow, so back to the issue at hand. Even going back to 2017, when the M8s were first introduced, you know, people were first noticing engine oil loss, engines burning up oil, and also sumping problems, of course, with the bad oil pump, and then the fluid migration issue from transmission to primary. So these are commonly known, acknowledged by Harley, and they had some kind of a deflector plate that they put in I think, underneath the clutch release cover for some builds in 2019, and then I think they abandoned it. Otherwise, there's been a solution. I know all over on Facebook anyway, people call it the Greg Williams clutch rod. And and it's got through 2 iterations too. So there was version 1, and it had some kind of a flat spot in the end, and apparently it was a little fatter yet, but and then version 2 is a little bit skinnier, but still larger than the stock clutch rod, and that is supposed to reduce the problem, at least, or eliminate it. Now, being aware of fluid problems on the M8s, ever since my first M8, which was a 2018 Road Glide, every single oil change, I drain all 3 oils separately into a container, and then I measure the amount that came out. And I keep track of this information so that I know, if I'm going to if I start developing a engine oil consumption issue or a fluid transfer issue. So on that one, the wife's fat boy, on my Road King now, every single time I've measured those amounts, and I've seen up to 3 ounces of transfer from transmission to primary. I think I saw it once or twice on the Road Glide, and never anything remarkable on the Road King here, until last year, 2023, in the spring, going down to Arizona Bike Week, for a few days, riding around there, riding fast, extremely fast, for day after day after day. And then I didn't notice any problems or anything, but then getting back to Deadwood afterwards, and then it was snowing, and it was 30 degrees out, and unloaded my bike out of the truck in the snow, and I went to drive it down the sidewalk, just 2 blocks, and as soon as I took off, the clutch was like super, super grabby. It was weird, like it wanted to engage immediately. It had no friction zone. And I just thought, oh, well, that's because it's, 30 degrees out and the bike is ice cold, whatever. I didn't think too much of it. But then it was due for an oil change, so the day after that, I went to do all the oils. Lo and behold, the primary was overfull and the transmission was low. So what came out was only 16 ounces came out of the transmission and 42 ounces came out of the primary. So 10 ounces is what transferred from the transmission to the primary in just like 4 days of riding fast around, the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. And now moved a couple months ago, different random garage, not in Sturgis anymore, in a little town in northeastern Nebraska. But been riding to work 33 miles each way, and it's a 65 mile an hour highway, so doing maybe a little over 65 constantly. And after a couple weeks of riding to work, all of a sudden I noticed I went to leave work and the clutch is kind of grabby. I went, oh, that's kind of weird. Kind of thinking back in my mind, maybe I got fluid transfer issue. And then got home and, pulling in the driveway, turning around, whatever, and the clutch kind of grabbed again. I'm like, oh boy, I better check it. And I pulled the transmission dipstick out and there's nothing reading on it. I'm like, okay. I know I got a transfer issue again. So I went ahead and bought that fat clutch rod. I got it from Eastern Performance. But it is, now I can't remember the actual brand of this thing, but I'm pretty sure that this is the quote-unquote Greg Williams clutch rod from whatever company this guy works for. Okay, Eastern Performance says it's Macomb County Choppers clutch rod, $74.95, free shipping. That's the thing. There it is. I mean, it's a machined, nice clutch rod. There's kind of a step in it there. When I get the old one out, I'll measure the diameter of it, and I'll measure this one. I'll make a comparison. But I did recently find out, or I stumbled upon, I don't know, a thread on some Harley forum or something like that, where somebody stated what the diameters of the stock clutch rod versus version 1 and version 2 of the Greg Williams clutch rod are. They say that apparently the OEM clutch rod is a 0.314 inch diameter, and then the version 1 of the Greg Williams clutch rod was, and it had a flat on one side apparently, was 0.370 inches. And then this new one is 9 millimeters or 0.354 inches in diameter. I'll measure them myself and see what I come up with, but that's what it's supposed to be. So anyhow, I'm going to start by draining the primary since it's over full. Measure what comes out. I'll drain the tranny too. I mean, I could just, add some back and top it off, but I'll just drain it and replace it this time around, and we'll see where we're at here. So now with the primary drained, we have to take out this snap ring right here that's holding the clutch rod end plate in place. It's 070 inch tip snap ring pliers. Squeeze that and pull that right out. So with the snap ring out, and this and that comes right out of there. And then I'm just gonna pull out this here stock clutch rod. So here's the stock clutch rod versus the fat replacement. It's even got the patent number on there. Made in USA. I'm getting a 0.311 diameter on the stock one. And this fat one, it's like 356. Yeah, about 356. I'll just go ahead and slide the new rod in there. This end plate back in place. A bit of a push. Hopefully it stays. Snap ring back in there. There we go. That's seated. So then, got the drain plug back in. Gonna throw a fresh quart of AMSOIL primary fluid in there, and then put the derby cover back on and torque the 5 derby cover screws between 90 and 120 inch-pounds. And actually on the instruction sheet for the new clutch rod, they even, hard to read, but
they recommend using HD 8140 or AMSOIL V-twin transmission fluid in the tranny. That's all I use anyway. I always use AMSOIL primary, AMSOIL tranny fluid, and AMSOIL's 20W50 in all the bikes, and AMSOIL in every vehicle. So there's a quart. I still got that much left. I got to go find my measuring cup, see how much that is, but I think that's probably about probably 5 ounces. We'll see here. So I couldn't find my measuring cup, but found this other just old 2-stroke bottle here, which is nice and small. So, and there we go. It's just shy of 5 ounces extra. So a quart plus 5 ounces. And you know, every time I do a oils change, I just throw just one entire quart in that primary, so I know what's in there, and then I know what comes out. So I'm 5 ounces shy on the tranny. I changed my mind. I'm not gonna drop the tranny fluid. I'll just put 5-6 ounces in there, top it off. I'm due for an engine oil change in another 1,000 miles or so anyway, so when I do that, then I'll just drop the tranny too. But I don't know, for now the primary is refreshed, and hopefully the fat clutch rod does the trick. If you want to see more Random Garage things, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you get a random notification when a new Random Garage video is posted. As always, thanks for watching, and remember, whatever you do, make sure you're always doing something.